This is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome. All right, so, the Democrats have really done themselves in. They really have. I mean, I covered everything that came out with this so-called Maryland man. All these, he's just a very bad guy. He's an MS-13 soldier. He's not a leader. He's a soldier, which means he's the one that goes out and does their dirty work. And according to his wife, he beats up his wife, according to his wife. So we had this god-awful tragedy here in Florida, at the Florida State University in Tallahassee, with this Trump hater who, the son of a local deputy who did this terrible thing. So what do you think the Democrats will do? Will they use that incident, this god-awful tragedy that happened in the state of Florida, to divert and get away from their defense of this wife beater? What do you think? Or will they continue to defend him? If they need an out, it's a perfect out for them. They'll pivot to gun control, excuse me, or something. But I'll tell you this. The Democrats are in big trouble. Yeah, today I was on Newsmax. I recorded a show for Newsmax that will air over the weekend, so you guys can look for me on Newsmax over the weekend. And we were talking about this MS-13 terrorist that the Democrats are advocating for. And I said on Newsmax, I said, everyone says the Democrats are taking the wrong position on 80-20 issues. I said, I don't think they're 80-20. I think they're 99-1 issues, and the Democrats are taking the 1%. And that's true. And I think what happened to them in this instance is pretty obvious, right? They go to their knee-jerk, let's oppose Trump, with whatever he says or does. They did it, and then they got behind a very bad guy, and they don't see a way out of it. And they have no leader. They don't have anybody with a lick of sense in their party right now. And when this issue moves on to something else, whatever that is, because the news cycles move so fast, they'll back something else that's stupid. I mean, they're just, it's almost comical, as dumb as they're doing. Yeah, it was on Newsmax today. Well, it'll air over the weekend, but it was recorded earlier today. It was nice. I recorded it right on my back porch, which was nice. It's a beautiful day, 82 degrees and sunny here in Florida. So I said, what, let me set up on my back porch. So I set up on my back porch, great view of the Florida sun. Be nicer to Canadians. Canadians have been ripping off the United States for decades. Canada's been stealing from us. Canada's the one that's not nice to us. Yeah, these out-of-control import taxes that Canada has had on us are just out of control. Out of control. Problem is, these countries around the world have all been ripping off America. That's the problem. And Trump's stopping that. But think about this. These lunatics that are backing this wife beater, they're the ones that have been running the country the last 4 years. It's really amazing that the country has held together, isn't it? Now, if you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe. Well, MCA fixed a lot of it. Now he's completing the task. Well, I don't know about Canadians and alcohol, but it seems like whenever I see somebody from Canada's government, talking about U.S. tariffs, they complain about whiskey and things like this. So they seem to have a drinking problem in Canada. There seems to be an epidemic of alcoholism in Canada. Maybe they drink because it's so cold to stay warm. I don't know. But they seem to have an obsession over whiskey and other American liquor, because that seems to be their biggest beef. They don't want more. They don't want more tariffs on the booze. I don't know. I'm not that into alcohol. Now, Sunday night on my YouTube channel here, I'm going to premiere the video of our MAGA cruise. So you won't want to miss it. There'll be a live chat. I just finished the video yesterday. It's very good, but I'm going to debut it on Sunday night. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, and if those of you that were on the cruise, you'll enjoy it. I show a lot of the fun things we did, because we had a great time. And the next one, you want to call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot and join us. Great deals on the next one. I don't golf, so I'm 100% golf disabled. I don't golf. Yeah, Mama Bear, well, you should come. The next cruise next year, it's 2019 pricing. And if you make your reservations now, you get to lock in that 2019 price for a 2026 cruise. So you're paying like 7-year-old cruise prices. We got an incredible deal that we negotiated with the cruise line, because we wanted more people to be able to go. And we're going to Antigua, and I forgot where else. But we're going to have a good time. Well, I'm going to be 54 years old on Sunday, so I guess I'm getting up there. But 54 doesn't seem like that old to me anymore. When I was a kid, it used to be a big deal. I remember my grandparents were in their 50s. I thought, oh my gosh, you know. But 54 doesn't, I don't know. I don't think I look like I'm 54, but you never know. Oh, you just turned 50. Yeah, well, you know. 54 is young. Oh my gosh, that just means you're old, Prancer. Now, I don't mind getting older. I like it, because you know, as you get older, you get, see, I shaved today for Newsmax. That's why I shaved after I got off the air this morning for the Newsmax interview. I wanted to be shaven. But you know what I like about 63. What I like about getting older, though, mainly is you just have such a better perspective on things. You're much wiser. You have a lot more perspective because you've seen more, and that's what makes you wiser. My weight loss makes me look younger. Yeah, I've been hearing that. You know, the owner of the radio station, I saw him last week, and he hadn't seen him in a few weeks. And he says, you look a lot younger. I was like, yeah, I guess so. Well, I weigh what I weighed like when I got married. So I think I got married at 25 or 26. So I am at about the weight I was when I got married. Life is good. It's Wendy Bell Show on Newsmax, which airs throughout the weekend. It airs Saturday and Sunday, so you won't want to miss it. I appreciate it, Prancer. Yeah, I mean, it was, I was a little nervous about doing it because I'd never been on a diet. So, and I'm on YouTube every day. So if I couldn't do it, you guys would see, you know what I mean? So I was on it for 2 weeks before I told you guys, because I wanted to make sure I could do it, because I'd never been on any kind of diet before. But I had a phone meeting with them today, and they said, do you want to keep losing, or do you want to just, what do they call it? They call it maintenance, maintain where you are. And I said, I want to just maintain where I'm at this point. I think I've lost enough. So So I'm transitioning to that part of it. It is easier for men to lose weight, no doubt. Yeah, I thought it was going to be very difficult. I was really nervous because I am the pickiest eater you've ever met. Okay, I really am. There's a lot of things I don't eat, and a lot. You'd be surprised if you knew what a picky eater I was. You'd be like shocked. South Florida Surface Restoration, welcome as a member. And so I'm like, I don't know, how am I going to do it? Because there's so few things I'll eat. But I did it, and it was not. And if you notice, you don't hear me say on the stream anymore, I'm starving. Remember I used to say, oh, I'm so hungry, I'm so starving. I'm not hungry anymore. It's amazing. No drugs, no Ozempic. I wouldn't take Ozempic, and I wouldn't endorse it and recommend others do. The number that we have is the number we have. We don't have a separate international number. The 888-465-2631 number. No, I have been eating out. My wife and I don't really cook, so we get takeout. It's just the two of us. We don't have a kid at home anymore, so So I've been eating takeout and lost all this weight. So it's amazing. It's amazing. So the Democrats, getting back to this tragedy in Florida that happened at the Florida State University in Tallahassee, I was very surprised when they had the press conference. No, I've been drinking a soda from McDonald's today. I was surprised that Ron DeSantis was not at that press conference. I really am surprised. I thought he would have been there leading that press conference. So I don't know how that happened because the governor's mansion's right down the street from the university. You could almost walk there. Yeah, no matter where you're located, Prancer, they can help you. You don't have to physically go there. Mm-mm. In fact, other than my initial appointment, all my other appointments have been over the phone. I could go if I wanted, but I just been doing it over the phone. Yeah, I don't know why DeSantis wasn't at that press conference. It is shocking that he's the son of this lady deputy. I feel bad for her. I mean, she's got to have a lot of guilt going on. But she had to know that her kid's a lunatic. I mean, maybe not, but it seems though we know more about the shooter at Florida State University than we do the Trump shooters, though, doesn't it already? She's in trouble. Well, the sheriff praised her, said she's got a great record of excellent service, and the gun, the handgun, was her former service weapon. They upgraded to new guns, and she bought that gun, so it's her personal weapon he took. In Florida, because this is a very pro-Second Amendment state, you don't lock your guns in safes. I know in a lot of liberal places they do, but if you have a gun for protection at home, you don't want to have to fiddle around with a safe. But if she had the gun in a safe, which we don't know yet, chances are her kid would know the combination, right? I mean, kids know the combinations to safes at home all the time, so. But if she knew that her kid's a lunatic and she didn't put the guns away, she's going to have some trouble. That's right, I am MAGA for life. MAGA for life, Michael. I feel great. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll have a new podcast coming up tomorrow. I didn't podcast today because, well, one, I had to do I did the Newsmax interview, and then this breaking news happened, so a podcast can get dated real quick if you're talking about something like that because it's developing. So I'll podcast tomorrow sometime. Magnificent. That's exactly right. But it is very, very strange that she's a deputy sheriff there. Very strange. You got to feel bad for her. I mean, she's got a lot of guilt that she's going to be dealing with. Well, this is like not a little kid. This is, like an adult. I don't keep track of what I eat. I really don't. That'll drive you nuts, Cal. That'll drive you nuts. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. It is sad. The whole thing's sad. And the victims, oh my goodness. But you notice he cowered down with the cops. The chief said, the police chief, not the sheriff, the police chief said that he didn't fire at the officers. Now that could change. It's a developing story. But he said that he didn't fire at the officers. So, which if that's true, that shows how cowardly these are. And the fact that the cops had guns stopped them. She can't be blamed for her adult kid's crime. You could have some responsibility. I mean, if you have a child that is mentally ill and leaning towards violence, and you have guns around, you could have some liability there. But you're not guilty for crimes that your family members make either. In Indianapolis, you mean like in Severance? No, I'm not in the Severance program. It's terrible. It's terrible, but the response time of the police was unbelievable. That was just amazing. They saved some lives, that's for sure. Definitely saved some lives. Jay from Jersey. Yeah, Jay from Jersey's he's an angry person. But I heard someone on, I think it was Fox. I was flipping through all the news because this was breaking. And someone said that, when we were growing up, we can never conceive of school shooters and this thing that's going on. And, I think mostly it happens because they want to be viral stars. They want to be internet sensations. They want to be trending on social media. That's why. Jay sounds like the mom from Good Times, Esther Roll. Yeah, that lady, Esther Roll, she is from here. And she's actually buried at a black cemetery. It's a historic black cemetery that's not too far from Friendly Tire that advertises with us on the radio. And she was militant liberal. She called Steve Kane on the air once and went after him. I wasn't with Steve then, but maybe I'll go by and make a video of her grave. She's in this. It's a really rundown cemetery. It's pretty bad, but it's a historically black cemetery, and she's from that community. So, and she's from Pompano Beach, Florida, and her name on Good Times was Florida. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I doubt it's a coincidence. Trump has been amazing. It's a very rundown black cemetery. Yes, it's a cemetery from back during the Democrat Jim Crow era, and the Democrats wouldn't let black people be buried in cemeteries with white people. So it was a racially segregated cemetery. Yeah, maybe I'll go and show it. I don't know. Would you guys want to see Esther Roll's grave? I don't know. No, not Dixiecrats, Democrats. No. But no, this Democrat Party is in just such disarray. I mean, I've been following Democrats for a long, long time, and Democrats are always wrong, but they have never been so wrong as they are now. Yes, I'm Christian, I'm Catholic. I mean, they're just, there's some issues that are not partisan issues, and they're making them partisan. I mean, their defense of these murderers and rapists and wife beaters, it's insane. Yeah. Yeah. And oh, don't forget, on Sunday night, I'm going to premiere our MAGA Cruise vlog here on this channel. So make sure you subscribe, got the notification bells clicked. It's on Copans Road. Yeah, Copans Road. Yeah, I've been by there. Her sister was in To Kill a Mockingbird, and she's also buried there. No, we're not a cult. The Never Trumpers are the cult. We're the mainstream, man. President Trump just won a national election, won every battleground state. So we're the majority. The Never Trumpers, you're the tiny little cult. Oh, Trump is the best. Did you see the press conference with the Italian prime minister today? If you watch when he first went to take questions and they start barking, she jumped back. She's never experienced that before. Our low-life, scummy, rude, fake news media. You could say we're in a cult, but nope. Now, Strom Thurmond was not Grand Wizard of the KKK, and he was the only Dixiecrat that became a Republican. All the other Dixiecrats, including Al Gore's father, Al Gore Sr., went back home to the Democrat Party. Strom Thurmond is the only Dixiecrat to become a Republican. All the rest went back to the Democrat Party. That's right. I don't know if it's east or west of Powerline, but it's on Copans. Yeah, you got it confused with Democrat Robert Byrd, who was a Grand Kleagle with the KKK, and Joe Biden's best friend. That's right. Strom Thurmond, how long ago did Strom Thurmond... Alexa, when did Senator Strom Thurmond die? Strom Thurmond died on June 26, 2003. He's been dead for 22 years. The guy's been dead quarter of a century. David Duke, no, he's not a Republican. He's just a publicity seeker. Trump loves America and the American people. The Democrats... No, said O2. Alexa, volume 5. Alexa, when did Senator Strom Thurmond die?
Strom Thurmond died on June 26, 2003 at the age of 100
right.
years.
Alexa, stop. He died 22 years ago. You're acting like he, But he's the only Dixiecrat that became a Republican. All the other Dixiecrats went back home to the racist, segregationist Democrat Party. And remember, Joe Biden, even in the 70s, went to President Carter and tried to get private schools excluded from segregation laws. Can you believe that? So, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Make sure you subscribe, guys, if you're new to my channel. Yeah, Al Gore Sr. You can't ask this device about the Dixiecrats. You'll get liberal lies. They get, this stupid talking points that Democrats have about the big switch, where all the good people became Democrats, and all the racist Democrats became Republicans, and they all got together and agreed. The Democrats and the Republican Party can't agree that the sky is blue. And somehow the Democrats, with their lies of history, got this big switch lie where they got together and agreed to switch parties. It's so stupid. And I just can't believe that there are people that believe that shit. I mean, it's just, you know, you can research it all. It's liberal lies. See, most history books are written by college professors. College professors are liberals, so most history is written by liberals. But it's a MAGA country now, isn't it? With President Trump. Well, that's all true stuff, Michael Nightwolf. Nixon's Southern strategy, you know, he lost the South. The Democrats won the South in that election. Nixon did not win the South because they were Democrats. Racist Democrats. The Democrats won the southern states. Nixon lost the southern states. See all this crap that the Democrats believe? They've got this alternate history that they think existed that didn't exist because they're sheeple. They don't educate themselves. I don't think you've experienced racism. I think either you're lying or you're just not a nice person and people aren't nice back to you, so you call it racism. No, England is not the best country. The United States is the best. Yes. England's now part of the Caliph. Now, I have no talking points, Pitch. I do not use talking points. Well, the Nazis are leftists too. Remember the name of the Nazi party? They're the National Socialist. In fact, the original name, there's the history of Nazi Germany by William Scheer. It's a book about this thick. Okay, it's a great book. You all should get it. Get the book on tape. And remember the original name? National Socialist Workers' Party. Then they dropped off the workers and just went to National Socialist. Socialists are liberals. AOC, Bernie Sanders, socialist. So the Nazis were socialist, National Socialism. But they don't use that in the history books because liberals write it, and they don't want to brand socialism in a negative light with the Nazis, so they just say Nazis, Nazis. I know a lot about history. That's your problem. Oh, an anti-Semite. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you know, the monster that committed arson at Governor Shapiro's residence in Pennsylvania is anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas, Palestinian supporter, and that's why he did it, because Governor Shapiro is a Jew. There you have it. This monster in Tallahassee at Florida State University, another Trump hater. You know, so. Oh, yeah, Bernie and AOC are probably making a mint on this U.S. tour they're on. No, Nixon lost the South. He lost the South in 68. In 72, he won 49 states, but in 68, he lost the South. And by the way, back then, the Southern strategy went all the way to California. It's called the Sun Belt. You know, liberals say, oh, the Southern strategy of Nixon. They don't even know what that means. What does that mean? You don't even know what a boomer is. Boomer are children that were born right after the Second World War, baby boomers. And now make sure you subscribe if you're new to my channel. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And remember, tomorrow, the morning show, it's open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. So if you're new, I host a morning radio show. I take live calls. And on Friday, it's open phones. The show preps up to you guys. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. Monday through Thursday, you got to talk about what we bring up. Oh, I remember when Trump was talking about running like in 2011, 2012. I was hoping he'd run then. Remember he went out and had pizza in New York with Sarah Palin? And Kentucky is nice. Have you ever driven through Kentucky? It is beautiful. All that bluegrass. I've driven through there many times when I was driving to Ohio. Well, Conan says, how's Trump helping the country with his tariffs? In many, many ways. I'll just give you a couple, though. One, he's stopping these other countries from ripping us off with the tariffs that they have against us. That's one. But he just said again on an interview 2 days ago that he wants to eliminate the income tax and fund the entire country off of tariffs. Sounds pretty good to me. So that helps everyone who pays income taxes. I just had to send off a check to for the income taxes this on Monday, because yesterday was tax day. Yeah, I know Jesse Lee Peterson. We used to have him on the show all the time, but I haven't listened to him in a while. Yeah, sounds good to people who actually pay taxes. Exactly. Yeah, but I sent it in before the deadline. I sent it in the day before. I had to send a check. Oh, Greenland would be awesome as part of the United States. Absolutely. How are the kitties after the surgery? They're doing great. They're very happy. No, one of the things Trump's doing with another thing he's doing with the tariffs is he's bringing industry back to this country that's been stolen by these countries around the world. And there's no tariff. And you see a lot of companies already announcing they're moving back to the United States or moving operations to the U.S., which creates a lot of jobs. You're wrong, Brody, but go ahead with your liberal lies. The history books are filled with lies about President Nixon. The only thing President Nixon did that I would criticize would be he opened up China, which has been a big mistake. Yeah. He didn't break into the Watergate. Nixon didn't break into the Watergate. He had nothing to do with that. Can we talk about AIPAC? No. If you want to hear anti-Semitism, tune into Candace Owens. That seems to be her favorite topic. Apple's a big one, moving manufacturing of computers and phones to the United States. There's been some other software companies, all these AI companies. A Swiss pharmaceutical company just announced earlier this week that they're moving some operations to the United States. No, we cannot talk about AIPAC. No. AIPAC is the Israeli lobbyist organization in D.C. No, the guy was legally deported. He's a member of a terrorist organization who beats his wife. So when you're a member of a terrorist organization, and you're not a U.S. citizen, you're deported. In fact, you can even deport U.S. citizens who are members of terrorist organizations to black sites that the CIA have all over the world. He's an El Salvadorian citizen, and MS-13 is a terrorist organization. No, you don't try terrorist. No. When you're a member of a terrorist organization, you're out. It's a whole different process than the regular criminal system. But he was ordered deported by the federal immigration judges. He's back in his home country now, doing his time. It's being widely reported everywhere. Wow. Wow. That's awesome. 20 pounds. That's amazing. Source, pretty much every publication. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, she released a lot of information on him. Carolyn Levitt talked about this at the press conference this weekend, just to name a couple sources. It's all true. Well, no, everyone in the United States, you don't have to be a citizen to have constitutional protections, right? However, if you're a member of a terrorist organization, that's a national security issue. It's not criminal. You're out. That's what the Patriot Act was all about. No, all kinds of proof came out. Police reports were released today of his arrest with the confidential informant, everything. A lot of it came out yesterday. I covered it all this morning. So watch my stream from this morning, and I break it all down. I go through all of it. I read the reports. I go through all the different sourcing and everything in detail. But I'm not going to do it every time I talk to satisfy a bunch of loser trolls that live off of mommy, that are taking breaks from their Twitch streams to join my chat. Pam Bondi, day before yesterday, released a lot of documents from Homeland Security on this guy. I did, Brody. Attorney General of the United States, White House press spokesperson, the local police in Hyattsville, Maryland, their reports were released. The Tennessee Highway Patrol released some information. The man's own wife went to court and said he beat her up pretty bad on several occasions. I went through all that. I'm not going to do it every time I do a live stream. Just watch the stream before this one. I go through it all. Yeah. In fact, he married this woman after he got the deportation order to try to have an anchor wife. Didn't work out. See, Trump signed an executive order declaring MS-13 a terrorist organization. That changed everything. He's not even eligible to be a U.S. citizen just because of the fact that he beat his wife up. Pam Bondi's the Attorney General of the United States. Very credible. So, listen, make sure you subscribe if you're new. If you're already subbed, like the video, all right? My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk.